Well, it's my last day at university until 2023, and I had hoped that I'd be able to film this video on my bike. However, a few things have conspired against me in this concept for this video. One, the weather, as you know, around the UK, it's been pretty grim. I signed up to commute to save the planet and not break my collarbone, so I decided over the last couple of weeks to reduce the amount of commuting that I've done, and I'll come into that in a bit more detail in a bit. The other thing is, you can probably hear in my voice, I haven't been very well. This dreaded lurgy that everyone seems to have gone down with has got me. Finally hit me yesterday. Ended up sleeping for 18 hours, and today being the last day, my intention had been to round out the commuting into work with a commute, and it's just not going to happen. However, I've got some facts and figures and some interesting things that I've discovered about the last 13 weeks of commuting in during our semester system.
I live to the uni campus in Bristol and back is a round trip of 50 kilometres. Our semesters are 12 weeks long, and I began commuting during our induction week, so that's 13 weeks in total. Unlike the Ghostbusters, we have a brand new campus.
I trust you're moving us to better quarters on campus.
No, you're being moved off campus.
And I deliver 3 lectures a week, so that's 13 weeks, 3 trips a week. 39 times 50 kilometres is 1,950 kilometres. So far, so good. The plan was to minimise bus use for those journeys to save money, reduce my carbon footprint and improve my mental and physical health. So, how did I get on? So of those 39 journeys, 29 were by bike and 10 were by bus, so 74% were by bike. The reasons for getting the bus were being tired or feeling unwell, because I had to work late or needed to take in some heavy kit, or because of the weather. Some were avoidable, some less so. Distance-wise, 1,450 kilometres ridden, whilst 500 kilometres was sat on my arse being a bus. With best guess of carbon output, I've generated 29 kilos of CO2e on my bike and 50 kilos from the bus journeys. So financially, I've saved £145 in bus tickets. First Bus have reduced the cost of returns from £6.70 to £5, but they've done this by reducing the bus services running significantly. And logistically, there are some bizarre things going on. For example, our town has 2 bus services going to Bristol, the X6 and the X7. 4 buses run to Bristol that will get people to work by 0900, and yet 2 pairs of these buses leave the main stop in town within 5 minutes of each other. Bizarre. Despite 74% of my bus journeys being by bike, the bus trips have still generated more CO2e in that 13-week period. A bus creates 5 times more pollution than riding my bike does. For every 3 bike commutes I was doing, I was taking 1 bus ride. So my number 1 goal for next semester, which starts at the end of January, is to shift that ratio from 3 to 1 to less than 5 to 1. It's good to have a number to work towards.
Cheers.
I've also managed to enjoy commuting. One of the worst things from my commutes in the past has been this idea of getting up, riding the same old routes and getting really quite bored and frustrated with just the rigmarole and the monotony of the whole thing. And one of the things that gave me a really good block at the beginning and the middle of the commuting this semester was using the bone conducting headphones, listening to audiobooks and podcasts on the safer sections of the commute in and out of Bristol. It meant that there wasn't a day really where I got really fed up with certain sections of road. I'm sure those who commute regularly will know exactly what I'm talking about here. There are certain bits that just get you down, and I had none of that.
The final thing to look at was a fitness improvement. This is my PMC chart from Training Peaks. You can see here, for the most part, there's a steady upward trend in the blue line over 13 weeks. The red dots at the bottom indicate days with no exercise or commuting, and you can see that block had a good steady impact on my training. As much as it's fallen off in latter weeks, it's not below where I started, and that's the main thing. It's a good, solid and reliable method to gentle and sustained fitness improvement.
To wrap all of this up, making this video has made me realise that actually I've had quite a bit of success in this whole project of commuting in and out of Bristol. For a start, there's quite a bit less CO2 in the atmosphere than there would have otherwise been. There's £145 in the family coffers that wouldn't have been there previously. Now, £11.15 a week over 13 weeks doesn't sound like a huge amount, but that's a lot of bread and milk. And finally, those fitness numbers, they're not massive, but they are definitely in an upward trend. But also mentally, if you've been watching some of the videos I've been posting in the last 13 weeks, you'll know that mentally, the process of commuting has helped me a great deal in processing what's going on around me and the world at the moment. And that's a little bit odd because the last couple of weeks haven't been so good, and in my head, I haven't actually done a very good job of all of this. It's felt like actually it's been a bit of a dead loss. Looking back over the last 13 weeks to make this video has made me realise that I've made some pretty decent progress. In the music industry, we have this saying that you're only as good as your last gig, and actually I think that's a pretty damaging way to look at things. It isn't what you did yesterday or the day before, it's what you've done over a big period of time that counts. So next year, as the days get longer and the weather improves and I can put into action some of those logistical skills for hopefully minimising the amount of bus journeys that I have to take, the absolute focus for me next year in terms of commuting is reducing that ratio of bikes to buses below 5 to 1. So all that remains really is for me to thank you for watching these videos. I know that they've been a little bit hit and miss over the last 6 months or so, but I think as a family we underestimated really how much that period over lockdown, not just all the increased workload, but obviously Beck's cancer treatment and chemo and radiotherapy, I think we wholly underestimated how much recovery that was going to take, and that is something that is going to continue next year, which means I'm not going to be making any big, bold, grand promises to either you or to me for next year. I'm just going to be going for gentle, progressive, impactful and sustainable goals next year. I'd urge you to do the same in that regard. Don't put too much pressure on yourselves. Put all of that stuff for another video. I'll leave you with the brass band that was in Bristol City Centre in the market, and I want you all to make sure you genuinely, and I genuinely mean this, look after yourselves and look after others. Have a good Christmas.